Good morning, everyone. How are we? Welcome to Thursday, the 19th of February. Live, we're here on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Hope you're all good. I'm back today at 4 o'clock for my community live. Not in the community or you're not on plan, come sign up and you can take part in that one. And this afternoon, I'm going to talk about some of the biggest changes I've made from the start of my journey to now, just how I've evolved over the last 12 years that I've been at this. And then this evening, I'm back again at 7:30, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So I'm here loads today, loads, 3 hours of lives today, back to back. Hope your weight loss week is going well. I'm on the old Huel this morning. I tried these yesterday, and I actually thought there's a full review out on be out tomorrow. But literally, people online made out like these were a bush tucker trial, and I think they're absolutely fine and dandy. They really, really are. Would I have one as a meal replacement shake? No, I don't believe in that old meal replacement nonsense. But as a if you have a shake as it's your breakfast. It's not a meal replacement. You're having that as your breakfast. I'm not having this as breakfast, really, if I'm being honest with you. I've got a little bit of a hunger pang this morning, and I wasn't planning on having any breakfast. I'm finishing at 9:15. I've got a couple of errands to run, and then I'm hitting the gym at 10. And just to get rid of my hunger pang, I had half of this one yesterday and half of the banana one. I think the banana one's better than this one. It is. The banana one is better than this one. This is still pretty decent. I'm like, for the numbers, I think it's really good. Anyway, let's go on to the old TikTok and see who's knocking about. Mr. John Jackson's in at number 1, top 5 time. Regan's in at number 2. Tina's in at number 3. Lee is in at number 4, and Faye is in at number 5. Good morning, guys. You're on my top 5 this morning. Thank you very much for jumping on the live, coming and saying hello. Maureen's in on YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We're back from a few days away. Oh, brilliant, Maureen. Hope you had a really good time. How's your weight loss week going, everyone, so far? We're 3 days in, 4 days to go, 3 days through the working week, unless you obviously work shifts and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. We're getting close to the weekend. I've done all right-ish. I feel my calories have been, a little bit high Tuesday, Wednesday for banking terms. But I had my mum round yesterday. And when my mum comes round for tea, it's always a bit more calorific because I tend to do a little bit more of a convenience tea so I can spend time with my mum. She comes around every other Wednesday for a tea. So I tend to have a bit more of a convenience tea so I can spend time with them. So we did fish chips and peas last night, a bung in the oven one. And then we had pancakes on top. So I had 250 calories worth of pancakes and 830 calories. So yeah, I just excuse me. Yeah, I just feel like my calories are, I think I've banked 1,400 calories so far for the weekend, which, don't get me wrong, isn't bad at all. But I normally like to take about 2,500 calories into the weekend. And normally towards the end of the week, I don't know if you watch my weekly weight loss vlog, but my calories tend to ramp up a little bit. So what I mean by that is, like I start off really low Monday, Tuesday, and then they sort of creep up a little bit. Well, I'm doing that a little bit of a reverse. I want to have a 2,000 calorie day today. That's what I'm going to aim for. Now, Rachel's out for tea tonight with a friend, so I can eat one of my not boring, they taste amazing, but the stuff that it's just like basic 600 calorie meal prep teas. I'm having my pork rice and beans that I made this week. For tea, I've actually got 2 portions of it left, so I'm actually going to have it for my dinner, I think, and for my tea. That's 500 calories. So I will have a drizzle of barbecue sauce on it, and I will have some crispy onions on it. So it'll be 535 calories. So what's that? 1,070. I'm having this now, which is 1,070. This now, not having any other breakfast, 1,200 calories, aren't we? Maybe just less than that. I'm going to have a yogurt bowl mid-afternoon. So basically breakfast I'll have mid-afternoon. That's 1,500 calories. And then I've got a little bit of room for tonight. So yeah, I'm good. I'm all good. We are all good on the calorie front. Kevin saying, good morning, mate. Just as money, boss. I'm off out for a walk in a bit. We'll probably do around 5 or 6K. I'm your new client starting at maintenance weight, struggling to up my calories at the moment. Debs, tell me why you're struggling to up your. Do you mean you're struggling to stick to the calories that I've given you? Let's have a look at what calories I have given you. And yeah, Debbie's come on plan, and she's done really, really good on her weight loss. She doesn't really need to lose any more weight for me personally at all. So we're kind of more around. Now I have given Debbie a calorie deficit, which is 1,740, but it's a small one, 250 calorie deficit. So what are you struggling with? Like, are you struggling to, so basically what I'm asking here is, and I do get this from time to time with people, like people might do really low calorie diets, like 1,000 calories a day, 1,200 calories a day. They might have used Mounjaro and that's really restricted their eating. They come on plan with me. I give healthy, sustainable calorie allowances. So like I say, Deb's there. If she wants to stick to a calorie deficit, it's 1,750 a day. And it's a small deficit, 250 calories a day. Whereas if she was eating 1,200 calories a day, she's in a bigger deficit. Faster fat loss, but a lot more unsustainable and a lot more unhealthy. Yeah, I think because I've been in a deficit for so long, it's just a mind thing, right? And it generally is. A lot of people are scared of calories. I'm not saying this is Deb's reason. A lot of people are scared of calories. A lot of people are, they panic that if they eat X amount, they're going to get fatter. It's just an adaptation thing. If we've got used to eating a certain amount of calories for a long period of time, that's what's in our mindset. So then to eat a little bit more can be a little bit harder. Debs, what I would recommend is, I don't know what calories you're trying to aim at, and I know your goal is maintenance. I would, we can kind of do what we might call a bit of reverse dieting. We don't need to do that. So reverse dieting is where you've been sticking to a certain amount of calories for a period of time in a deficit, and then you're going to go back to maintenance calories, or even it's a bodybuilding terminology really, because what bodybuilders do when they go into like prep for stage, they drop their calories, and for the last they drop their calories over like 12 to 16 weeks, and the last few weeks they lock in hard and they drop their calories really low, very, very restrictive diet. So a bodybuilder might eat normally 3,500 calories a day, and then for the last 6 weeks they've been on less than 2,000 calories a day, and a very, very restrictive diet, like literally chicken and broccoli day in, day out for weeks and weeks and weeks. If they then flip back to 3,500 calories a day, it can have major issues with their digestive system and stuff like that. So they'll go from they'll tend to have a bit of a blowout after they've been on stage, which will make them quite poorly, right? Because it's like the body's not used to that type of food, right? But then what they'll do is they'll reverse diet out of it. So they might be on 1,200 calories, they might be on 1,800 calories, right? And they'll go to 2.2, then 2.6, and then 3. And then after about a month, they'll get back up to what they will call bulking calories, right? So yeah, and sometimes it can just be a volume thing. So if you're used to eating 1,200 calories a day, you might have eaten 400 calorie meals. Not good, but you're just used to eating that. So and your body kind of adapts to that. So you get fuller quicker. So I tried adding in 2 times performed protein shakes, but it made me too full. I'm hitting just under 1,500 a day, so not too bad really. Not terrible for your current weight, Debs, but what you want to be doing is you need to get some if you're struggling to hit your calories, like Deb's goal now is really making this. We don't want her to lose loads more weight, right? She can still lose a little bit if she wants to. So there's no panic. It's not like Deb's is 7 stone and she's like, in a situation where she's very malnourished. That's not the case. She's actually a nice, healthy weight right about now, right? And the best thing you can do is add, if you're struggling, you want to add very nutrient dense calorific foods into your diet. All right. So a protein shake is nutrient dense, but it's full of protein. It's very filling. We are talking healthy fats, right? So if you want to up your calories without upping volume, right? So you want to up your calories easily, healthy fats, nut butters, nuts, seeds, avocado, oily fish, olive oil. Get it in your pan. You know, I tell them, measure your olive oil, teaspoon of oil, very good non-stick pan. You know, a teaspoon of olive oil is 45 calories. So, Debs, you've got permission to use 2 or 3 teaspoons of olive oil, which would be 160, 130 calories if you're pan frying a bit of chicken or some veg or something like that, right? Get your healthy fats in, all right? Because A, they're going to be absolutely brilliant for your health because they are monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fats, right? And B, it's going to, you know, 15 grams of peanut butter is 100 calories. Like it is, and 15 grams of peanut butter is not a lot of peanut butter, especially if you enjoy peanut butter, right? So healthy fats is a great way to increase calorie intake. When I get overweight clients, right, and I do get this, I get overweight clients that come to me and they are literally like, you know, I'm overweight. I can't eat the calories you've given me. I've kind of got to call bullshit a little bit, right? And I mean that, and I don't do that as in you're lying, right? I generally don't. That's not anyone that's worked with me knows I'm not like that. But look, you're currently 300 pounds. You're currently 400 pounds. All right. To get to that weight, you've been easily consuming 3,000, 4,000 calories a day consistently over the last however long. Right? I've given you 2,100 calories a day, and you can't eat them. Now, again, it could be a psychological thing because sometimes when people think they need to diet, it's like I have to eat 200 calories a day to diet. So it can be a psychological block, right? But I then get clients that come to me and go, I can't eat the calories you give me, yet the scales aren't moving. So you're telling me you can't eat 2,100 calories a day, yet you're actually still eating 3,500 calories a day because the scales aren't moving, right? So when I get clients that say to me, I can't, and they're overweight, I'm always like, right, that's a different tact. When Debs tells me who's like under 10 stone now, and she's lost a lot of weight, she's given me a bit of a history of her journey, comes to me and says, I can't lose, I'm struggling to, I kind of get it, you know? So, yeah, the best thing to do is like, don't get me wrong, protein shakes are fantastic, but 30 grams of protein powder mixed with water, right, is like 110 calories. 30 grams of protein powder mixed with water and then a tablespoon of peanut butter, blended in, which will double the calorie intake, but only increase the volume by 15 grams, right? And it'll massively increase the health benefits of that shake because you're going to get some fiber in there, not loads, but you're going to get some fiber in there. You're going to get your monosaturated fats in there. So, yeah, healthy fats, get them in. Olives, stuff like that. Oh, no. Oh, he does it all the time. It's so stupid. Right, it is so. In fact, it's probably not a bad thing for this life because it's half term. But TikTok have literally just restricted my life. So basically, because I am drinking water out of a beer Moretti glass because you are promoting drugs, alcohol, and something else. Funny, yesterday I was drinking water out of a Madri glass. Please don't ask how I've got lots of glasses, beer glasses. I bought them. Right? But nothing. TikTok, you're like not racist, but you like, is it because this is Italian? This is Yorkshire. Like, what's Derby? Like Derbyshire. What's the reason? Why didn't you restrict me for Madrid, yet you restricted me for beer Moretti? Anyway, I can confirm this is just water in this beer glass, by the way. I haven't had a drink. The last time I had a beer was the 30th of December, 2025. Anyway, Susie Buckles, I found you yesterday. Hi, Susie. Thanks for finding me yesterday. My doctors told me I have to lose weight. I've been diagnosed with an illness that means weight loss is needed. Okay. My doctor is pushing me to go to Slimming World, but I'm going to be completely honest that I can't afford it. Slimming World, Susie, is, doctors get a kickback from Slimming World, right? That's why they push you to go, right? That's generally, now, two things. GPs are not nutritionalists, they're not dietitians. So when you get advice about eating and weight loss from a doctor, you might as well get it from your mate down the pub, right? I mean that sincerely, right? Honestly. And, don't get me wrong, the health professionals, they're in a field and they might, but I've worked with GPs. I'm GP referred, qualified, right? And they'll have a good GP will go, yeah, I'm not a nutritionalist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionalist. My knowledge of nutrition is from a few hours at medical school, and it is just a few hours, way less than we actually do on our personal training qualifications, right? Right. And then just my own general knowledge that I've learned over time. And a lot of doctors don't put a lot of time into that. They might be fit and healthy themselves, but you are literally just, and this is why loads of I'm a doctor, come on TikTok, I'm a doctor. Oh, doctors know what they're talking about, about everything. Because that's the thing, we give certain people God complexes, right? And if a doctor came on and said, hi, my name's Dave, and I'm a doctor in blah, 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 but this is my political views, you probably go, oh, the doctor wouldn't mind. Probably would, Anyway, so you don't need to go to Slimming World. I'm going to be honest, I don't actually know how I'm going to afford a new diet. If you can afford to be overweight, you can afford to diet. I'm sorry, I've got to be brutally honest with you there, right? Life isn't simple, but don't want to put it all on here. That's fine, Susie. I just don't know where to start or anything. Breakfast is a big problem for me. Nothing, right? You're trying to make weight loss more complicated than it needs to be, Susie, right? To lose weight, we need to consistently consume less calories than we burn. And the easiest way to understand how to do that is to track your calories, right? Is to understand how this is, I don't advocate them because they are quite inaccurate, right? But they're better off than knowing nothing. So if you've got no money, use a free online calorie calculator to get your calories, right? Use a free calorie counting app like MyFitnessPal. Again, I don't advocate it. It's not very good. But again, if funds are limited, it's free. So use that and start tracking your calories. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, but, track your calories. And it's not just a case of tracking. Read some nutritional labels, understand different bits and pieces, right? Don't worry about eating healthier for the time being, right? Work on understanding calories. Now, the issue is with calorie control is if you're going to just, if you've got a weight issue, I have no idea what you weigh. Right? I don't know what you weigh, and you don't need to tell us on here, right? But if you've got a weight issue, yeah, at the end of the day, most people have unhealthier diets, right? Is what we would say, right? An overall unhealthy diet. And if you're someone that eats a lot of cereal for breakfast, there's nothing wrong with enjoying some cereal for breakfast, but it's not very filling. It's not very nutrient dense. It's going to promote hunger more than it is satiation. So it's going to make you more hungry really in the long run than fill you up. And, if that's it, and if you're just going to go, right, well, I normally have a big bowl of cereal in the morning. Now I'm going to have half a bowl of cereal and weigh it out and track it. That's good because you are being more calorie controlled. But a big bowl of cereal ain't going to fill you up. So if you eat 50 grams of cereal, that really isn't going to fill you up. That's going to promote hunger. So we want to eat more nutrient-dense food. Now, on the surface, nutrient-dense food might seem quite expensive. You might be like, yeah, well, a tub of Greek yogurts is £1.99 in Aldi. A big box of cereal is £1.99 in Aldi. The big box of cereal will last me for 5 breakfasts, and the Greek yogurt will last me for 3, right? But when I say that if you can afford to be overweight, you can afford to eat healthier and lose weight, because what we don't take into consideration Am I going to blanket here and stereotype here? Yeah, I am. But I can do that because I used to be 37 stone. I used to do it. And I know loads and loads of other people where it's the same situation. All right. I'm very experienced in this. We look at a punnet of strawberries. Oh my God, they're £2. A bowl of Greek, a tub of Greek yogurt, it's £2. That is so expensive. So punnet of strawberries, Greek yogurt. My breakfasts are good. Instead of being 30p a day, are going to go to being £1.50 a day. They are. But what you need to take into consideration, what you currently spend on food, not what you currently spend at the supermarket. Most people that have a weight issue have very unhealthy diets, and that includes a lot of takeaways, that includes a lot of convenience fast foods, which people don't bat two eyelids about, and they don't consider it in their overall food spend. I didn't when I started my weight loss journey. When I started my weight loss journey, this is 2014. I went to Tesco, healthy shop, all this, that, and the other, fruits and veggies and this, that, getting stuff into it, lots of eggs, chicken, asparagus. Right, went through the checkout and it was £100. Right, and this is in 2014. Right, now don't get me wrong, there's certain stuff in that trolley that lasts more than a week. Right, but it was £100, and I was like, shit the bed, £100. Normally I spend about 40-50 quid a week in a supermarket. So my food, the cost of me eating is going to double. It didn't. It dropped massively. I'll tell you why. The cost of your food for a week isn't what you spend in the supermarket. It's what you stick in here. It's every time you go through a drive-through, whether that be Starbucks or Burger King or McDonald's, right? It's every time you stop and grab a quick Greggs or a meal deal. Right? It's every time you get a Just Eat delivered to your house. It's every time you get, everything you buy in the supermarket, everything that goes in here. And when I went through it all, I was spending about £200 a month in a supermarket on shopping, right? I was spending about £600 a month, and I couldn't believe it when I added it all up, on takeaways, on eating out, on different bits and pieces. And the same people that go, I can't afford yogurt and strawberries in a supermarket, will think nothing about whipping through McDonald's drive-through with their kids and spending 20 quid, right? At least 20, 2 Happy Meals, mum or dad, or mum and dad, 2 Happy Meals at a value, in just a value meal, Big Mac, drink and a thing, is 20 quid in this day and age. So we've got to add it all up. We've got to add it all up. And we've got loads of different supermarkets out there. Make the switches. Frozen fruit, low calorie, loads of volume. Right. I don't have takeaways at all. I can't afford them. Susie, even if you don't have takeaways, if you're eating so much food, you're overweight, you can afford to, because what a calorie deficit is going to do is going to mean you eat less food. Right, I guarantee anyone, I don't care. Right, and don't get me wrong, there is a bit of education around this. A lot of people don't understand it because there's a lack of education around this. And again, I do not know what you weigh, but I'm telling you now, anyone that can afford to be overweight can afford to eat healthier and lose weight. And like I say, you don't actually have to eat healthier to lose weight, but it does make it easier, right? And there's lots of cheap options out there. You go today and get a 500 gram pack of chicken breast, you're paying £5 for it. You get 500 grams of chicken mince, right? And you're paying £2.50 for it. And that'll do you for 4 meals, right? 60p a meal, right? Load of veggies, load of seasonings. I put loads of meals on. And every meal I put on is from Aldi. They're all cost effective. They cost no more than £1 or so each, right? Or you might be, some of them do. I'm not saying that. Some of my big yogurt balls, but I'm not saying you need to eat the portion sizes that I eat. But switch to frozen fruit. You go to Farm Foods and get 6 bags of frozen fruit, right? Over 2 kilograms of fruit for a tenner, right? Now, again, some people might be like, that's 10, but it's literally like 80, like a quid a day if you eat it all in a week, right? I don't have any takeaways at all. I don't have any chocolate. So why you are, again, I don't know what you weigh. I have no idea what you weigh. But if your doctor is telling you you have a medical condition, I assume you're quite overweight. So you're spending your calories on something, right? And I'm sorry you've got issues in the house. You've got a child with complex needs and disordered eating. He'll only eat certain foods, so I assume it's our food or whatever, how it's pronounced. The money goes on what he eats. So how are you overweight then if you don't spend any money on food? I've got to be brutally honest sometimes. I've got to be brutally honest. Like Susie, like I said, I don't know what you weigh, but if you're going to the doctors, you're not 2 or 3 stone overweight if you've got a medical condition where the doctor's telling you that, if you've been diagnosed with an illness that means weight loss is needed, like I can't think of any illness where if you're a couple of stone overweight, you need to drastically lose weight. Like for that, and I'm not trying to be harsh, but the harsh reality is if the doctor's told you, I assume at the end of the day, you're spending a lot of money on food if you're overweight. I don't care what anyone says. You are like that, and we have to be honest with ourselves. I've been there. I know I've made the excuses myself, and you might not think you are, but you are. Right? Like many, I struggle with perimenopause symptoms. Best tips, Becky Blackcall. Okay, let's get on to perimenopause, or menopause, or postmenopause. Right? A lot of women see this as a mental block to weight loss, or see this as a block to weight. It's not a mental block. They see it as a block to weight loss. And there's so many people out there that are basically, and before I get started on this, not trigger warning, I fully understand that I'm not female. Whenever I talk about this online, I get so many people, oh, well, thank you for a male to tell us how a female body works. It's called education. It's called biology. It's called experience. It's called working with hundreds of women over the years and coaching them to successful weight loss journeys that have been going through the menopause, right? So you can be, it's like saying, oh, well, that teacher there is 35 years of age. How dare they tell a 5-year-old how to do maths and science? They're not 5 years old. They're not a female 5-year-old. How can they relate into? It's called education. It's called knowledge. Right? It doesn't matter what sex you are to educate yourself. In fact, it'd be ignorant of a male not to try and understand how females work, just like it would be ignorant of a female not to understand how males work. It's called biology. Anyway, I've just got to get out of there because when I talk about something like this, someone generally can pipe up and go, as if I do know, right? So, the menopause, there is not one medical condition in the world that stops us losing weight. Right? There isn't. There's not one medication in the world that causes us to gain weight. Or gain fat. You only gain fat through overconsumption of calories. But I'm on a medication, Neil. The side effect is weight gain. Weight gain, not fat gain. You'll never see a medication that says the side effect is fat gain. It says weight gain. The weight gain is water retention. And it's normally 2 to 3 pounds. Right? So if you're sat there and you've been on a medication for the last year and the side effect is weight gain and you've gained a stone, it's because you've decided to overeat. Nothing to do with the medication. Don't get me wrong, there are some medications out there that might increase appetite, right? And that in turn will increase calorie intake, right? And that could lead to weight gain, but that's an indirect cause. There's nothing that goes, oh, it's the meds I'm on. No, it's not, right? So there are meds that can cause weight gain. Steroids, loads of water retention, you'll gain a load of weight, right? It's water weight, it's not fat. Right? No medication causes fat gain. No medical condition in the body stops fat loss. All right. Certain medical conditions will make it harder to be. We find it hard to be consistent sticking to a calorie deficit, right? Physically and mentally, we find it harder to consume. If you're absolutely tip top of the world, your health is absolutely superb, your mental health is absolutely superb. Every now and then, it's still tricky and tough to stick to a calorie deficit. So when we've got hormone imbalances going on in our body where we're basically, and that's what the perimenopause is. It's a change that females go, perimenopause is basically you're kind of going through the menopause, but you're still having your periods. All right. It's not as simple as that, but I'm just going to simplify it. Yeah. And it can happen, when you're female, it can happen from, I think some people, you can still conceive, you can still have children. You just get the symptoms of the menopause, the hormone imbalances, without the actual physical effects taking quite hold yet. All right. And it can happen from being in your early 30s, right? And a lot of women don't realize this, right? Anyway, what are the main issues with it? What are the main issues, perimenopause or menopause? Emotions running all over the place, which can trigger emotional eating. Fatigue, right? Just feeling a bit more tired. Feeling more tired can mean you're less motivated. Again, tiredness is a negative emotion. It can trigger emotional eating. Those are the two big issues. Mood swings, right? And lack of energy, like feeling overtired. What do we do about it? Exercise. Knew you were going to say that, Neil. I don't want to exercise. No, you might not want to. Why would exercise help with energy? I always use the analogy of a wind turbine, right? Wind turbine, not generating any energy whatsoever, right? Wind turbine, generating loads of energy. The more you move, the more energy you have, the fitter you are, the healthier you are, and the better you feel, whether you're going through the menopause or not, right? So you need to generate extra energy to counterbalance the lack of energy that the hormone imbalance is causing. Exercise, movement, healthier diet, right? And I'm sorry, again, I might blanket here, I might stereotype here a little bit, but again, this is very, very common. Most women that have severe issues or much worse issues around perimenopause and menopause are unhealthy and overweight. That they are. It exaggerates things like mad. It makes things a lot worse, right? I've worked with plenty of women as a personal trainer that are going perimenopausal, menopausal, but they've always been fit, healthy, a healthy weight, trained, this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying that the symptoms don't hit them, right? I'm not saying the symptoms don't hit them hard every now and then, but every now and then. It's not a constant day-to-day battle, right? So don't get me wrong, if you're currently overweight and this, that, and the other, you're starting right at the beginning and it's going to be a tough few months before your body starts reacting. But you've just got to grit your teeth sometimes and get at it. But improve your overall diet, get on your calories, increase your movement, get some exercise in place. And honestly, you will feel so much better. You will feel so much better. And I'm not sitting here saying it's an overnight fix. And I'm not saying it's dead easy to do. It really isn't. In fact, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It'll be flipping hard to do. But if you do it and you put the effort in just for a few months, you'll notice a big change. And you'll notice a better change and a better change. And if you come into my community, sign up to my plan, you can talk to every perimenopausal and menopausal woman that I'm currently working with, and they'll go, yeah, trust me. When Neil spoke like that, when I first started working with him, I was like, what a dickhead. He don't know what he's talking about. How dare he tell females how they... But I've been on his plan for 6 months and I feel better than I've ever felt. You know? If you want to sign up, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, you just need to get to my link tree, right? It's like Linktree Real Lost Boss, right? Or just go to my website. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube on the live now, the details are all here. And it literally says the reallostboss.net. You just need to go there, right? That's my website. Click on the weight loss bit, one-to-one plan, $29.99. Right? I've actually reduced this week. I saw another coach do it. I was like, I like that. I like the way it aligns. So you can sign up to my one-to-one plan monthly, or you can sign up to it yearly, right? And I've kind of mimicked. So my one-to-one plan for a year was 325 quid. One-off payment, that's it. 12 months of coaching with me, you're locked in, right? But I've changed it to $29.99. Sorry, it's not $29.99. $299.99. So I'm $29.99 a month or $299 for the year, basically, right? So if you sign up for a year, you're going to save yourself 60 quid, right? You're going to get 2 months free, basically, by signing up for the year. But it's either way you want to sign up. So it's $29.99 a month, one-to-one, $299.99 for a year, right? So click on monthly one-to-one or click on yearly one-to-one and get signed up. I will get you started on Monday. You'll get instant access to my community today. You kind of missed the cut-off for this week for starting Monday, but if you sign up before this morning and get your consultation form back to me this afternoon, it takes you 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do the consultation form. It's not overcomplicated. I'll write your plan up. It's quite a check-in day tomorrow, so I'll write your plan up and I'll get your plan to you tomorrow. You can have a read through it over the weekend and you'll start on plan with me on Monday, right? Regular check-ins, access to me 24/7. You can WhatsApp me whenever you want when you've got any questions or queries. If you're having a bit of a meltdown, I had 2 yesterday, not really meltdowns, but I had two accountability messages through WhatsApp, a couple of essays. I love getting them, and I mean that sincerely. It might take me a little bit of time to respond, and I'm going to respond to them both today. But sometimes it's just good to talk, isn't it? Thank you, Awesome. How do I sign up to your coaching? Yeah, so Becky, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, just head into my profile somewhere and you just need to find my link tree. It's like link.trr. I can actually post the link in this live, to be honest with you. I don't know why I'm not doing it. Let me post the link into my just go to my website. Let me find my link. And anyone, it won't be a clickable link, by the way, especially if you're watching this back. Where's my link tree link? It's here somewhere. I literally have all my links in one thing and I just can't see it. Hang on. Here it is. I've got it. Right, I can't do this into TikTok, but because I'm on the triple stream, I'm actually going to look and see if I can get TikTok through. Right, so I've just posted it in the chat and then I'll put it on the screen as well. So there you go. It's linktr.ee/The Real Lost Boss. You just need to find that link. It's all over my social media, and then click on that. And then there's a shop in my link tree. There's an inquiry form in my link tree. If you just want to touch base with an inquiry form, hi Neil, send you on TikTok, send you on Facebook, send you on YouTube, and I can send you all the details. Right, it's loads of questions this morning. YouTube, TikTok. I'm sorry. I'll go through. I'll try and catch up. But it's loads of questions this morning. I love it. I can't lose weight. Been trying 2 years. Different things. Eat more, eat less, cut sugar, carbs, workouts. Nothing works. What doesn't work, Kate, is you being consistent. That's the only thing that doesn't work, right? Nothing works. I eat pretty plain as I have stomach problems after COVID 4 years ago. So plain veg salads. Don't eat after 5. Can't do carbs. You're trying to do. You're literally telling me why you're not losing weight. Because how you're trying to lose weight is so unsustainable, you're not going to be consistent doing it, right? That is honestly why you're not losing weight, right? You're not being consistent. Because I'm sorry to break this to anybody, you are not a medical marvel, right? If you drive your car and it burns petrol all day and you don't put any petrol back in, it loses energy. What you're basically telling me, Katie, is you're a car that can drive around all day, burn loads of petrol. You're not putting as much petrol back into your car, yet your tank's always on full. Please tell me how that, because I would love that, because it would save me a fortune, right? What you're saying just isn't logical. There is absolutely not. And Katie, I'm telling you now, if you are the first person on this planet to not consistently lose body fat, if they consistently stick to a calorie deficit, you will be a multimillionaire, a billionaire, because what you have done is you have broken physics. You are the first person in the world to break thermodynamics. And if you do that, you're a superhuman, right? You can split the atom, you can do everything, right? And I've got to be that honest with you, right? If you consistently consume less calories than you burn, you consistently lose weight. But all the faff you're telling me that you're doing there, I eat salad, I don't eat after 5, I don't eat carbs, I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't eat that. What you're doing is you're convincing yourself that that's what you're doing more often than not, but you're not. You're consistently consuming the same amount. I assume you're just staying the same. You're not gaining, right? Again, it's one of the big things for my plan. It's healthy. It's sustainable. You'll stick to it. And I'll be honest with you, if you come on my plan and you don't lose weight, I'll call out your BS. There's absolutely. And the thing is, I'm not calling anyone a liar. It is so easy for us to convince this that we're doing what we should be doing when really we're not. And I think deep down we know, right? And the more desperate you get to achieve something, that also massively affects your consistency. Yeah. the amount of clients I get that come on board and swear to me before coming on board that they're doing everything they should be doing. I'm doing it. And then, first couple of check-ins, nothing's happening. I'll call them out a little bit. We'll find out what's going on. We'll do this, that, and the other. And then suddenly they start to consistently lose weight. Why? Because they're putting the plan into effect, I'm really bad at counting calories. Any tips? Yes. So if you're really bad at when you say you're really bad at counting calories, Samantha, are you really bad at being accurate, or are you just really bad at doing it? And what I mean by that is, is it your accuracy that's bad or your accountability? No, I can count calories, Neil, but I literally count Monday, Tuesday, and then don't do it the rest of the week, right? Or I'll count over the week, but there's just gaps everywhere. I forget, I don't do this or that. So is it accountability, which is completing your diary Monday to Sunday fully, or is it accuracy? I'm just really I'm tracking everything, but I'm not losing weight. Right? Which one is it? Let me go through a couple of TikToks because it's just been manic this morning. It's just questions after questions. But like I say, I love it. It's really, really cool. That's what these weight loss lives are all about. Is for me to try and help you as much as I can. Right. Let me come over checking. Be interested in say yes, it's check-in day tomorrow. If you do come on my one-to-one plan, check-ins are Fridays, every other Friday. So one half of my clients check in one Friday, one half check in the other Friday. Stevie's was on plan with me when I first started coaching, and she's come back on plan recently. Right. Let me scan down. You talking about menopause after the emotions had passed was why I signed up. Brilliant, Paula. And I get it. It is a touchy subject, and I think it is the menopause is a touchy subject because it's a harsh reality to hear that that basically it's down to me. Right, and I think that is tough for any reason, and I do think it's harder for a male to talk about it and look, it is biology, and this isn't a sexist thing or anything. Females have way more different complications, as it were, in terms of hormones with their bodies than males do. They do, and a lot of people come on like, oh, it's so easy. Is it easier to lose weight being male than it is female? Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it is. When I say easier, it's not easy. Whether you're male or female, it's flipping hard. Weight loss is hard. But are there a lot more emotional things, a lot more mentality things that can kick in with feet? Of course, periods. I don't absolutely right. Rachel literally walked in last night and she went, I'm sorry. I went, why? She said, I told her that we had a massive argument on there. Yeah, we do argue. We had not a massive argument. We don't really argue. We bicker a lot, right? We never, ever go days without talking. We bicker a lot. But we had an argument on Tuesday night. And she literally come in last night and she went, I'm sorry. And I went, why? And she went, because I told everyone about our argument last night at work and they said I'm a bitch. And I went, no, but it's time of the book. And literally she came on Rachel won't mind me talking about it, Tuesday morning. And literally she's been an absolute nightmare for a week, right? And I'm used to it. And I don't get wrong, I'm not being horrible. She knows it herself. And I'm just like, and when you want to sit there, but I don't want to feel the wrath. And go, and I just know when Rachel's due. I just know a whole cycle and how things. And if she'd asked me, when am I going to come on? I'd have said Tuesday, Wednesday. If she'd asked me on Saturday, I'd go Tuesday, Wednesday. And if she said, why do you know Tuesday, Wednesday? I said, because you're at that time before your period where everything's irritating you. Everything. Me just breathing, being alive in this room is doing your absolute tits in. I know that, right? I can feel it. right? I just know we've lived together for 10 years. We're married 3, 4 this year. So I just know her inside out. And I don't have that every month. I don't have that. Don't be wrong. I can be a dick. I can be aggressive. Not aggressive. I'm not aggressive. I mean, moody, right? I can be argumentative. I can get knocked at different things, but there's no set pattern to it, right? There's no set pattern to it. Rachel might think I have a period every month, but I don't, right? I genuinely don't. So it's hard, it is, and things like that, and it is down to emotions, and it triggers a lot of emotional eating issues, and it's something but it's something we can work on, and I think just being aware of it, just understanding your own, rather than just coast along, understanding your own cycle, understanding the different elements of your cycle, understanding, oh, this is going to be a bit trickier. Let's take the pressure off. This is going to be a bit easier. Because now Rachel's coming last night and she's absolutely totally different, and she's be absolutely buzzing for the next couple of weeks, like absolutely happy as Larry, and so on and so forth, Pamela Reed, oh my God, don't do Slimming World. I did it for years. Yeah, no one's suggesting doing Slimming World. Don't worry. No one advocates Slimming World. Not if you follow me. At all. Right, let me scan down, see if I've missed it. I've got to go very, very shortly. This live has absolutely disappeared, and I feel like I could sit here for another hour and waffle on about so many different bits and pieces. Oh, I can't scan up anymore. Guys, if you've written a comment on TikTok, I don't know if it's from when I got that restriction because I was drinking water out of a Moretti glass. I get it. They don't want you to promote alcohol on that, and I get that. But my bad. I'll stop using. Anyway, have I missed anything? I don't think I have. Right, I'm scanning down a little bit. I know when he's coming, I'm vicious, and it's part of life. It is part of life, and I think that when we have things that are part of life, we've got to try and do the best we can to not let it affect things. And there are different things we can do, like Rachel's periods have got so much better since she's lost so much weight. Like she's nearly 7 stone down from 2 years ago. So Rachel was she struggled with her weight since we met, and I suppose it's something that brought us together a little bit. And I've never judged her on her weight. She's never judged me on my weight. I was still like 27, 28 stone when we got together. I have no idea what Rachel weighed. Rachel also struggles as well because she's vertically challenged, so she's only 5'2". So I would say she's not over. Currently Rachel's not overweight; she's just under tall, right? And but she had a real kick around about, I'd say, May, June 2024, which actually really helped me because it gave me a really big kick. But so many things like that have improved in Rachel since she's lost like the weight. And like I say, she goes through what every other female goes through. Her polycystic ovaries have gone, right, or improved to the point where they're not really traceable. So when about 5-6 years ago, she got diagnosed with polycystic ovaries about 12 years ago, something like that. And then we went again for another test about 6 years ago, and they were like they rated out of 21, I think, and they were like 13. And then last year, she was just struggling a little bit. And she was like, I want to go get tested for my PCOS again. And she went and got tested, and they were literally like, it's like, and so he said, you still got your polyps on your, he said, but everything that goes around it is gone. He said, and she was like, does that happen? He was like, have you lost a lot of weight? And she went, yeah. And he went, yeah, you can massively improve the symptoms of it. So that's changed. She don't get ill anymore. She just get ill all the time. ill all the time. Like I had a bit of a cold in October, November, and then my mum had the flu, was really bad flu. And she was going in and seeing my mum a little bit and this, that, and the other. And she was like, just wait. She's not, I can't remember the last time. She had a bit of a stomach thing about a week and a half ago. And it was so weird because I just don't remember it ever getting ill anymore. Right. She's just much healthier. But that's because she's gone from like 21 stone down to 14, you know, and it's a lot of weight to lose. It's literally a third of her body mass she's lost, you know. So it does, and it has improved her periods to the like short. Like, don't get me wrong, her moods haven't really changed massively around them, but they're a much shorter like thing, and like yeah, they're a lot like they're just a much shorter like where she struggles a little bit physically and mentally. It's just a lot more controlled and a lot more shorter. Right, let me scan down. Have I missed anything? I had seen Liam about emotional impact of menopause, so he knew it wasn't personal. Yeah, and I think you know, I don't take it personal. I just sit there and I try and mind my P's and Q's and nod my head a little bit. Sometimes I can't resist, like Tuesday night, a bit, right? And we had a bit of an argument. And but we're always both like I said, we never go to sleep on something we've never ever done. We've been together 10 years. We've never ever gone to sleep not talking. Never ever. We always clear the air dead quick. Yeah. But sometimes you know, you have arguments, don't you? Anyway, right. Is gout food related? Yeah. You can, yeah, very weight, food, drink, absolutely. Alcohol, massive impact. If anyone suffers badly with gout, alcohol is generally the root cause. Call it the rich man's disease. So wine, beer, cider, gout is buildup of uric acid. So you get little acid crystals in between your joints. Super painful. I had it for years, right? My dad suffered with it, hereditary. Again, lost my weight, got fit, got healthy. I was on allopurinol for years, which is the medication you take for it. Got fit, got healthy, disappeared. Never had a bout of it for 10, 11 years. Never been anywhere near me. But yeah, it's a rich man's disease. Rich food. So red meat, alcohol, yeah, high acid foods. Yeah, gout is, and it's really, really painful. So if you really suffer badly with gout, cut your red meat out, cut your alcohol intake down massively. If you're a boozer, watch your foods that are high in acids and stuff like that, and yeah, and it'll massively help. You know, it'll massively help. Right, guys, that's me. I'm out of here. I've got to go. I'll be back. So if you do sign up to Plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, sign up before dinner time or get your consultation form back to me before tea time tonight. Right, I'll get you going Monday. After that, you'll start a week on Monday. Yeah, so come get on board. And, you know, if you are struggling, there's no struggle. $29.99 sign up, $29.99 a month for a minimum of 3 months. That's a monthly plan. Or if you're really committed to this, you really want to go for it, I've just reduced the yearly £299.99, one-off payment, and you'll be covered till the end of next February. All right, so you'll be all covered for a full 12 months, one-off payment, done and dusted. Come get signed up. Guys, I'll be back. If you do sign up to Plan or you're currently on Plan, I'll see you at 4 p.m. for today's Zoom, and I'll send all the links out later on just before it's starting. And we're going to talk about the big things that have changed from the start of my weight loss journey to now, how I've sort of evolved and adapted different bits and pieces. And then I'm back. If you just follow me on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, I'll be back at 7:30 tonight, 45 minutes to an hour. Have a great Thursday. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. Facebook, YouTube, I will sign off to you second. Have a great day.